Hi, welcome to another edition of A Word in Season. Today I would like to share with you about joy in spite of trials. The world views trials, great pain, sadness, difficulty, discouragement as something to be completely avoided if all possible. I don't think any of us would happily welcome them if we have a choice. However, knowing that we live in a broken world because of sin, these things are very much part of our existence, and not one single person is excused. Society looks at the here and now, and it minimizes the great value of endurance, perseverance, resilience, and steadfastness that can only come when we go through trials and difficulties in different forms and shapes. Often we hear the strong voices from the world screaming at us, saying things like, you should not care about perseverance or can't be bothered about endurance, maturity, and completion. You should only care about your own comfort, reaching your own goals and dreams and potential, reaching your ambitions for money, for pleasure, recognition, accolades, and making a name for yourself. Yet James 1 verses 2 to 4 says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, when you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may become mature and complete, not lacking anything." The verb consider comes from the Latin word for contemplate, and hidden in the word is sid, S-I-D, which is the Latin word for star. Originally, it meant to examine something very thoroughly and carefully, as if you're staring at the night sky, contemplating its mysteries. Therefore, to consider is to think and contemplate carefully in order to arrive at a judgment or a decision. James is challenging us to have a shift in our mentality, perspective, and our view on life. In hard times, think harder and look harder at what is actually going on. Joy is independent of the trial itself. Joy is something grander because it is one of the fruits of the Spirit. And when we find joy, it's infused with comfort and wrapped in peace. It's an attitude of the heart and the spirit as a follower of Jesus. John Calvin's thoughts on this verse on James 1 verse 2 says, "There is nothing in afflictions that ought to disturb our joy." Let's also take note that James says, when you face trials of many kinds. He didn't say, if you face trials. You know, trials will come and are coming and must come, and perhaps are already here, and they come in all different shapes and sizes and forms. So how can we rejoice, and why should we rejoice? Romans 5 verse 3 says, we are to rejoice in our affliction because they help us develop perseverance. We are to consider it pure joy when trials of many kinds come. We are to rejoice in our difficulties. Why? Because first they produce perseverance. Trials and difficulties are exercises for developing spiritual and emotional muscles and strength. It will give us the strength to be able to stand strong and firm in our faith and in life. Second, they produce maturity. Maturity provides us the ability to make good decisions, and with wise choices comes more stability in your life overall. The definition of maturity is adulthood, or the state of being fully developed. The point at which you are fully grown is an example of when you achieve maturity. Showing common sense and making adult decisions is an example of maturity. The Word of God is challenging us and calling us and commanding us to grow in maturity, in the fullness and likeness of Jesus Christ. In 1 Corinthians 3 verse 2, Paul says, "I gave you milk, not solid food, for you were not yet ready for it." Yet Hebrews 5 verse 14 says, "But solid food is for the mature, who by constant use have trained themselves to distinguish good from evil. Let us allow perseverance and endurance to complete its work in us through trials of many kinds. For when we do, we will reach maturity and completeness, being conformed to the image of His Son, Jesus Christ. So let's rejoice, shout out a hymn, or sing songs that will give us the strength to endure. Songs such as Blessed Assurance, Jesus is mine. Oh, what a foretaste of glory divine. Or Blessed be the name of the Lord. Or the old familiar chorus, in moments like this, I'll sing out a song. Or one of my favorite lines in a song is this: there was another in the fire standing next to me. There was another in the water holding back the sea. And should I ever need reminding of how I've been set free, there is a cross that bears the burden where another died for me. Well, I hope this has encouraged you today. Thank you for watching, and may God bless you.